Hey, it's EfreetEater. How's it going today? I watched the 3rd episode of the 5th season of Samurai Jack, and it was excellent. Just like the last 2 episodes. This episode's a little different. It starts very introspectively, with Jack floating down the river, as he did in the last episode, Wounded. And as it goes along, the episode builds up to a very big conclusion, and then there's kind of a twist ending at the end. It was good. The episode reminded me a lot of Taxi Driver with its brutal violence and with the build-up that I just mentioned. There was a very interesting sort of like dreamlike hallucination type solitude sequence at the beginning, and there's great use of color. Again, from like the beginning to the middle, even towards the end, there's a great use of color, minimalistic sort of white setting before the final battle. And yeah, I don't know, I definitely recommend, if you have not watched this season of Samurai Jack yet, definitely watch it. Oh, another thing I should mention in regards to brilliant use of color, which I was referring to the white, there's like a white background at the end, a lot of snow and fog coming across, and it's sort of obscuring characters and breaking lines of sight in an interesting way. But there's also a very interesting use of red with the blood in the beginning, and the blood is almost like a metaphor for his guilt and I think his growth. And you'll have to watch the episode to sort of see what I mean by that. But again, there was a very interesting fight scene at the end, a lot of brutal stuff that really reminded me of like the Mark of Kree, if you played that game for PS2. And again, I think Jack sort of resembles Odysseus, or a kind of like biblical character in this episode, just like he has in the last few episodes. And I think that partially comes from him being stranded, lost, and just straggly, even more so than myself. Anyway, let's get into the more in depth about what happened. So these are some spoilers, so watch out. It's a spoiler motion. Not really. So as I said, Jack is hallucinating at the beginning. He actually sees the old form himself, but very like wild-eyed, very, very twitchy and manic, and it's scary. It's really pretty scary. I would say the episode overall is kind of scary and shocking, and he's sort of trying to rationalize with himself about killing the girl in the last episode. And as he's doing that, he meets the wolf that we had seen before, that white wolf that killed the tiger. It's actually still alive, and just like him, it's very wounded. It comes to him, and they are sharing food, and they sleep together, and they're kind of able to keep each other company. Now, he remembers back to when he was a boy, and he was in a carriage with his mother and father, and they were overtaken by bandits. And he remembers his father going out of the carriage with his sword. Now, his father kind of sounds like Aku, which was weird, but he issues sort of a warning to the bandits. They don't take it, and there's a lot of blood. And it's all over Jack's face, and he remembers that, and his father cleaning him up, so he sews his own wound together. Again, it's kind of cringy. Jack remembers the thing his dad told him back then. He told him, the decisions you make and the actions that follow are a reflection of who you are, and that you can't hide from yourself. So that inspires him he stands really strong. He stands at the front of the cave, and he's not going to hide anymore. And it cuts to a commercial, and we see the daughters of Aku coming after him. They follow the river, and there's a really cool Futuristic, like, robot bridge. It's really cool. That, again, a very cool use of color. Very nice green and black. And I thought that was interesting because, unlike the older seasons, we haven't really seen a lot of the futuristic architecture. So that was really neat. And I think it was... It just was kind of a nice break from all of the wilderness. And it sort of, like, made me remember, oh, we're in the future. But so we're seeing the daughters who are walking very robotically. They don't tire. They've left their dead just to lie there. And it's almost a stark contrast. What is a stark contrast to Jack, who is this sort of almost like barbaric character at this point. He is fighting for survival. He looks a wreck. I mean, he's covered in blood. And then even later when he's not covered in blood, he's all he looks very thin and unwell. There's a funny part where the daughters see a buck and a doe, and they decide that the buck must be a minion of Aku because of its horns, and then it's just nuzzling the doe, and it's cute, and it's kind of sad in a way too, that they don't understand love. But then they notice Jack's blood, and they follow him. Well, they follow his blood to the cave. Anyway, they draw their weapons. There's a big tetsubo, like a big club mace type of thing. There's a kunai. There's these twin swords. They're ready for Jack, and they hear him. They hear him from somewhere. They don't know where. And he tells them that they need to flee. He tells them they need to flee, or they'll face their destiny, just as his father had told him. And they don't flee, and he says, well, so be it. And he comes out and just, he sticks one of them with a spear. And he sticks a few of them with a spear. And they're just, I mean, they're dead. Like, it's just straight through. They're done. So he really has no qualms about killing them anymore, because he figures they've chosen this path. This is kind of like... This is one of the scenes where I was talking about the color. It's white and minimalist, and it's very harsh. You see the characters, and you see trees covering them sometimes, and it's just a very harsh world. But then everything's laid bare. They come out of the fog, and there's a long, like, choreographed sequence. This is where it really resembled the Mark of Kree. And he takes out two more of them, and then the remaining three form this sort of six-armed creature. And they're swinging at him. And they lead him to this, like, cliff. It's actually a big tree branch. It's a huge tree. And he's kind of at the edge. And they're all on the other side, not at the edge. A better position. And he drops the club he was using, and he's going to use his fist. And he goes, and he kicks one, and he throws her off. And he goes and he sort of, like, I don't know if he snaps her neck or he breaks her mask, and she's gone. There's one left, and they're swinging around on the kunai, and, you know, they're swinging around, and he hits her, and she falls down, she's hanging on, and she just starts spewing these curses at him, and he's staring at her, and he's kind of like, well, he kind of stares off. He's like, well, you know, that, I guess, you've chosen this. You don't, even now, you don't want to give up. And he drops her into the white pit below. And as he does that, he sighs, but then the tree breaks, and he also falls down. It's a cliffhanger. Just like all these other episodes, it ends with a cliffhanger. And I'm excited to see what happens. I'll be back with a review of episode 4. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And check out some of my other content. There's some up there. And I'll have some at the end slate, as they call it. Anyway, we'll see you next time. You have a good one. See ya.